everybody, today we are at the main farm at Rockville, and today we are pouring down the foundation for the new structure that we're putting in. And if you don't know by the end of this video what structure we're putting in, be sure to stay tuned for the next video that I do on it. It'll be pretty clear what we're doing then. But for those of you who do know what we're doing, what we're doing today is they are bringing in the forms, and what the forms are is they are just metal structures that are around in a circle that they are putting together to hold the concrete in place until the concrete dries up and it sets up and everything. So what they did was 2 or 3 days ago, they brought in 4 loads of gravel, and it's like foundation rock. It's technically labeled or something like that. But that foundation rock we are putting in inside the circle foundation, and they use that as kind of a bedding for the concrete. And personally, for me, I think the thicker the concrete, the better. But this rock will help distribute the weight more thoroughly, and the bin won't be quite as rigid, I guess you could say, for the foundation, so that when there's pressure on it, it can kind of move a little bit, which you don't want something that's too stiff, because you might get leaning or other problems. So we are putting in the rock, and it has to be in a round, kind of like a round hump in the center, and out around the edges the concrete will be able to go around the outside. So from an outside perspective, it looks like it's solid concrete, but it's actually mostly rock, and then kind of with a concrete shell. And we are laying down rebar so that to kind of give the concrete more of a more strength. They do that under your roads and bridges and other structures that they want to make sure don't break as easily, because if you put down a structure and you lay down concrete and you don't put that rebar in there, frost is more apt to get into the concrete, and it'll start pushing the concrete apart, and that's something you really don't want with the structure that we're building. So longevity is the key, and hopefully by the end of today we're going to have our foundation all set up and ready to put the rest of the building up once it's done setting up. So thanks for watching this video. Be sure to stay tuned to see what it looks like in the end, and I'll see you next time, guys.